Hey, Cheta. Uh, Thanks for asking me to help you. I'm glad I could. Sorry it's taking me so long to get it to you, but I've been dealing with the snow apocalypse. But anyway, let's just jump right in. So my name is Philip Monk. I am 24 years old. I'm currently an independent consultant for Pre-98 Antiques, which is it's a company that deals with antique firearms and that type of thing. But I was formerly a small business owner, and I did C-level contracting. Pretty boring. But I'm also a cellist. I gig every now and again, so I don't know if you could call that my occupation, but it's part of my income. Geographical, racial, ethnic background. My dad's side is from Brazil, and my mom's side is from Ireland, so I've got that mix. But I was born and raised in Woodbridge, Virginia, so that's where I am from. What art do you perform, and what is your level of expertise? I'm a cellist, so I usually do classical music. I do orchestral stuff, solo stuff, chamber ensembles, which chamber music is smaller groups of people, sometimes anywhere from 3 to about 10. But smaller works, stuff like that. I've been playing for about 14 years now. I've been a soloist with the El Paso Symphony, the Juarez Symphony. I've also played in the El Paso Symphony and the Juarez Symphony, as well as the Charlottesville Symphony and the New Mexico Symphony and the Shenandoah Symphony. And what else did I do? I don't know. I play in lots of random orchestras. Um, but yeah, that's kind of my level of expertise. Hopefully, that's what you were asking. Tell me how, why, and when you began participating in this art form. So that's kind of an interesting story. I started in the seventh grade. Basically, my older brother had played cello before I did, but we really only had money for one cello in the house because we had to rent it, and cellos are really expensive. Um, and I would mess with it when he was gone, and um, I ended up getting better at it than he was, and he got frustrated and ended up leaving the whole cello life. So that's how I kind of got my start because I got a cello, and then I just got into it. And tell me how, why, and when. Um, but yeah, I was always just kind of fascinated with the way it made music, and it was so big, and made a bunch of random sounds. Um, and yeah, I mean, I guess the reason why is my older brother played, and I maybe wanted to emulate him a little bit, but it was more for self fulfillment than anything. What drives slash motivates you to do this activity? Um, let's see. Well, it depends. It depends on what I'm doing, because if I'm performing, then I don't know. There's a lot more than just the performance part. There's the whole practice part to perform. So I guess what drives and motivates me is to see like how far I can really take my skill level on the cello. Like most people don't even get to my level. I'm semi-professional. I wouldn't call myself a professional cellist, but a lot of people don't get to the level I'm at for a lot of different reasons. But my kind of motivation comes from um, how far can I really take my skill level? How much can I decode pieces of music? So I guess the successful champion over musical complexity is probably what um, what motivates me. Is just seeing how ridiculous of a player can I become. um, and also, there's another part of that too, because that's for classical music and that type of thing. But there's also the whole jamming aspect, which jamming is less formal setting for music, where so maybe a friend that plays guitar or someone plays a drum. all get together and just play whatever comes to mind. And that's really satisfying, being able to create music with another human being and be able to kind of connect on an emotional level through auditory stimuli. Um, so what drives me to be a professional cellist is kind of getting to the point where the complexity of the music is simple to me, and then making music. The actual what motivates me to make music is getting an emotional connection with another person, whether they're in the audience or they're playing with you. That's something that really motivates me. Is just kind of becoming a community of music and um, very much sharing kind of this dying um, this dying I don't know what I call it, tradition, I guess is probably the best way to call it. Just classical music. So classical musical instruments are very much going out of style. So, but I think they're really important because they very much uh, gosh, man, that wasn't a great answer. um, which I was motivated to, yeah. So connecting with people probably. I think I already said that. And I'm actually going to stop this at question 5. Load this and send it on YouTube for you. That way it's easy and you can just watch it and do whatever you need to do. Cheta. But cool. So this is 5. Tell me how you prepare for a performance, etc. Okay, so like I said, it's different for whatever I'm doing. So if I'm playing in an orchestra, then we have rehearsals weeks before the actual concert. But if I'm a solo artist, so when I was I played the Cello Cello Concerto with the El Paso Symphony in I think 2012. Um, it's a little bit different. So because the music you're playing with an orchestra, you've practiced as a group for weeks, while the stuff you're playing as a soloist with an orchestra, you may have been practicing for years. So it's a totally different ball game. You're a soloist, you're playing really complicated music, but to prepare for that, I do a lot of scales, a lot of repetitions, a lot of slow shifting. I make sure that my fingers are limber. I usually the way I prepare for a performance is I don't change anything. Like I don't do any weird ritual on the same day. I do everything like I normally would because my teacher always said, if you're sitting backstage like, oh man, I can't, I'm gonna go play in front of all these people, and you're really nervous. It comes out in the music. Your music is very very reserved, very nervous, that type of thing. But if you're sitting backstage and you're chilling with your friends and whatever, it's a much different energy that you're bringing to the concert because it's like, oh, 5 minutes to go, okay, cool. You take your instrument and you head out. But yeah, so preparing for performance um, in macro is just playing the music, making sure I know the rhythmic structure, making sure I know everybody else's parts. That's another part of preparation for the performance, is making sure that you know your pianist part or the violin section's part. Not necessarily you can play it, but you can hear it, you know where it's supposed to go and where you're supposed to fit within it. But then on the micro scale, preparing for a performance, maybe it's in a week or it's in a couple days. It's very slow. It's very slow practice. Nothing. You're not doing a whole bunch of repetitions. You should have already had it. You should already have it in your hands with like a month before the performance. So when it's really close, within a few days, you're doing slow scales, very slow. Everything is just like you're just stretching, just kind of getting in the groove a little bit. But that's about 10 minutes. So let me go ahead and upload that, and I'll have another video soon.